Hi, this is Dr. Scott Young, and today we're going to get into the current economic conditions, and we're going to talk about housing, but we're also going to bring up elections. Now, today is the 29th. You're going to see this probably October 1st, I think. So it's going to be a few days off. Obviously, things change like crazy. But I want to just share this message with you and hope to encourage you about really things are getting things are getting done with that too. Okay, housing and elections. As you know, I do not sell crypto. You don't have to have a QFS card. That is all just lies from the pit of hell. Block and delete those idiots who do that to you. Okay? All right. So let's get into that a little bit. Here's something funny that's a little bit hard to imagine, but mortgage rates are affected more than anything in an economy and by the economy and bond markets. Okay, most people feel like what those mortgage rates are directly from the Fed, and I used to believe that too. Now, doesn't mean that the Fed has no effect. Let me give you an example. When you when you have the Fed in doing their thing, whether they're raising rates or lowering rates, now it does make money either less expensive to be loaned out, meaning at a lower rate, which can encourage people to buy more. Um, but the problem is that with mortgage rates, because they're coming from a totally different area of the funds, and there's some fascinating stuff that actually indicates they have never come from the dollar of the person, or meaning from the bank. But here's what it is: treasury bonds are probably the number one effector of what happens in the mortgage area, and because right now no one's buying the treasury bonds because the American dollar is already unhooked from the oil system. Excuse me. So this is what's happening out there. It is so fully on net foreign savings. See, in the past, look at the power of the dollar. The percentage of U.S. GDP is powerful dollar over the years, right? And then in 2000, it started to like reduce out, and we started having really ugly negative effects, of course, around the time frame when the Great Recession happened. And then this little blip here was an almost an instantaneous thing. Obviously, obviously that's COVID issues, but look at it now. You can't even call that COVID. What it is the dollar is losing its capability. So the net national savings is a negative number, and only other time frame it was is in 2008, and it is far going beyond this. This doesn't even give you the full picture of it because you really would need to see what's over here in that area. But net foreign savings is farther off than it's ever been since 2008. Scary numbers for the Fed idiots. And so that's why when you hear people, mortgage people, telling all the time, well, the Fed's going to cut the rates, and then that's when you want to refinance. So it's a good time to buy right now. That's a lie. It never has been the case. Here's a fascinating number about when people feel like buying homes, right? So let's just look 1960s, that the percentage of people in that realm, there were really some good things happening. 68, well, that would be around the time frame of the Vietnam War. That was a lot of stuff going on, funky with that. And then we have another bottoming when we fully unhook the gold-backed currency. Now, the gold-backed currency happened over here in the 33, but in the early 70s, now it started to bottom out to really low numbers. And so the Fed was trying to raise rates and make it better. And see, when they raised the rates over a time frame, it actually did make it better. That's why I'm trying to tell you, Fed rates don't have anything to do with buying homes. And people go, well, yeah, but interest rates here were horrible. And look at how many more people were buying the homes, right? Buying conditions is the share reporting good conditions minus the share bad conditions, which is a plus 100. So everything above that line. Well, look, even when rates were horrible, you're still buying homes because houses weren't that expensive at that time frame. Even if you had a loan that was 10, 12, 14%, the house was 60, 80,000, maybe $100,000 at most with that too. And we had good conditions during the Clinton era, right? It bottomed down here in the 2000 stock market. It bottomed out again in the 2008. But look at it now into levels only unseen for incredibly short periods of time. And so this is why the Fed rates don't have anything to do with anyone buying a house. Right now, no one wants to buy. It's a negative number with that too. So here's an interesting kind of thing called the median home price issue. So what this is a percentage. And so what it is in the 50s. Now, I want to hit you with something because I get hit this all the time. Well, we're going to go back to the 1950s pricing. The higher this number is, the less likely or less capable, excuse me, more likely, more capable, less capable someone is to buying a house. Look at the 1950s. The wages versus the price of of something or the capability of buying it, it wasn't there. And so they had to make it easier for people to buy because they had to raise the wages. So over the years, we started seeing wages start raising and people were able to buy, right? The housing bubble made it ugly. Now, it was already going up and yet people were buying because what would happen is that you buy a house for 200 and you were able to sell it for 220 even not even a year or two later, right? And you were making a profit and then you were getting into a bigger house and it was just this it was a ski slope up and no one was paying attention. Now, as soon as the bubble hit, it went down to historic lows, which is a great time to buy a house at that time frame. Now, I mean, I bought houses during different time frames here. Most of my house buying was from here to right about there. So this is the time frame I bought houses. But I didn't buy anything for a long time up until right around here where I got a different house, right? But see, I wouldn't buy a house here and I wouldn't buy a house there. And right now we're at historic levels for the median household income. Median household income is dying off. That's why no one is able to buy a house or wants to. I mean, we got like major conditions, right? So that's why Great Recession comes when we have the inability to buy a house with that too. They can't buy it. They can't spend any money to buy it. This is something actually Trump put out. I thought it was funny. Cup of coffee, $6.99, $9.99, right? Salmon, $4.99, $9.99. I mean, like ham, $2.99, $4.99. I mean, these are massive increases in prices. And if anyone's ever bought eggs, forget about the rest of them, but eggs are so overpriced comparatively. And this is just hysterical. This is showing off how stupid it is. And when Kamala actually talks about stuff like she's going to make prices better, and basically what she's talking about is she's talking about we're going to go after people who are price gouging. What, everyone? You're going to go after every single person who's selling price of eggs at that number, which means every single company out there. See, that's just stupid. Stupid. This is a reminder of how ridiculous Kamala is. When they were thinking about buying, getting in with her, right? Excuse me. She polled at 1% in the primaries. She wasn't higher than any other person. I mean, Amy Klobuchar to, Tulsi Gabbard, who were way higher percentage points. She couldn't possibly go by people I've never even heard of before. Cory Booker, give me a break. Now, here's an interesting conversation too. This is, and I know it's a little bit hard to see, but I want you to understand something. This is the number of illegals in the states. Now I'm going to give you, Missouri has a ton. Look at this. Arizona, well, we would know that one. North Carolina, what the heck is going on with that one? Pennsylvania is being dropped with a ton of them. And Texas has a massive number of this stuff too. And this is why they do what they do to make her go this way. And I say to you, like, is it really an election? Is it something that can be won? I mean, I don't care. I mean, I don't care when you look at the elections and they talk about their polling, and then they would put together enough normal votes, of their fake votes to put forward. It could put her, I mean, Kamala at 40, 50%, 40, 45% of the vote, where Trump might get, 60 to 55%. But then all they do is spice in these millions of others illegals, and they're over the target. So they win. The question is this: is it really? Is she going to cheat, or could she cheat? She absolutely will cheat. It's because that's just what they do. We're not just talking about Democrats. We're talking about. I mean, I can talk to you about Republicans. In the Oklahoma area, I know for a fact Republicans are cheating, because actually no one, for the most part, actually runs as a Democrat, because you're not normally going to win in as red of a state as Oklahoma is. So what they do is they get some, rhino against, an unknown Republican, and the unknown Republican they just run over. So the rhino really, even though he's the Republican guy or the Republican woman, but what happens, that rhino is really a Democrat in all the way, shape, and form. So what I'm saying is that it's not about parties. It's about the cabal and what they want to do. I guess my thing is, unseal the indictments, man. Make it rain. Now, it's really hard for me to say that. When I put this together, I had no idea we were about ready to see, the massive number of rains that were accomplished, by what we believe is HARP in the southern region, up, through Florida, all the way through North Carolina, even into Virginia. This is just how sick they are. We need to stop it. We need to stop it. And I keep saying it's not about Trump. I love Trump, don't get me wrong. But if Trump is in office and then they have all these other idiots like Klobuchar, how about, Schumer, and Nancy, I mean, can we really have a government with those kind of people around? And the answer is no. We don't have a government. Guys, this has got to end right now. And that's why I say to you right now, this is over all the way through and through. That's what I believe. I believe we're really, really close. And some people go, I just can't see it. Hold on, step back a little bit. Be calm, because it really is there. It really is going to die off. I promise you it's going to be okay. But you just got to have a little faith, because, man, they can't keep holding up stupid for too long. The pushback will be gigantic. So if you like this kind of stuff, I appreciate you. You can go to drscottyoung.com. You can download things. You can see some stuff that we have. But like and subscribe as well, too. Appreciate it a bunch.